live. Okay, I'm gonna see if this will freeze up. I'm gonna give it just a minute to see if this will hold tight, because we've had a couple freezes. Right now, things are working. What happened there? 30 seconds in, we're doing good.
Nice.
Yes. All right. Let's get a couple people watching. All right, guys. There we go. Now some people are jumping on. Huh?
Leave that one off.
You can if you want. We can turn on. There's a few people joining. We're holding out for just a second, guys. Join in, but we're holding out for just a second. Make sure that like no technical difficulties, and we get some people viewing and everything. And then we're gonna start this like virtual private lesson thing. So, a few more people. Okay. It's about 30 more seconds. And what is that? Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay. Yes, we're back on, and we haven't frozen yet. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's get a couple more people on. And we'll make sure that like we have, you know, a few people watching before we really start the technical discussion. Guys, feel free to leave comments too. If you have, like I mentioned before, if you have questions, we'll try to address them. For right now, at first, Ryan's going to call the shots. We get 3 more people watching. Just 3 more. And come on, this thing is so laggy. How are we doing on Facebook?
Let's see. It looks like we're up and running.
Okay, good. This is a session where you can. Very funny. I will explain that. I will. All right, a couple more. Come on. And 10 more seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay. All right. We're gonna go ahead and jump into it. So, this is the gist of it, guys. We are we're doing this kind of in conjunction with North-South Jiu-Jitsu. I should mention that, North-South Jiu-Jitsu Underwear. They are kind of co-sponsoring this. This is a virtual private lesson. What happens is Ryan Capps, he was kind of the winner of like a contest thing that we had going for a comment section, where I had some seminars coming up, and to kind of drum up some support and everything for it, we said that if you you know, you commented that you wanted to be in on a virtual private lesson, then you had the chance to win. He won, so what he gets to do is we're going to go live on here, and he's going to ask some questions, jiu-jitsu related, hopefully, and we're going to have like a technical discussion about just troubleshooting some areas, some technique discussion, and all that. So feel free to. He was generous enough to allow people to jump in and watch along with you, or watch along with him, and be privy to this kind of information. And like I said, if you guys have some information, then well, what techniques will you guys cover? Well, I got to see. He's calling the shot, so he's going to show us. All right, so whenever we tried a while ago, we had a couple of technical issues, but before we did, you had asked a question about from bottom mount and escaping. You were having some issues with people like fighting into your collars and getting a hold of it, like a handle on the collars and everything. So the way we're going to address that is preemptive, talking about like preventing that from happening. First of all, some things that we can put into place that will kind of stop that from happening in the beginning, but then also kind of minimizing the damage, mitigating like the ability for him to attack me thoroughly from there. So if we start here, and Jared's like mounted on top like this, right? So what we mentioned before is I want to keep these T-Rex arms, I want to keep my elbows in, not allow him up to have it like a stable platform to attack from, and then also to try to keep my lapels down if this is just a straight grappling situation where he can be attacking my collars for chokes and whatnot. I mean, I like to keep this lapel down and keep my chin stuck on top of it, so it's difficult for him to get this right hand inside, and that's why I'm doing this side over here. Even if he does get inside, it's going to be difficult for him to get deep enough to really like be successful with that attack. And then I can kind of, you know, grip fight here a little bit as long as I don't overextend. So those are a couple of things. The other thing is keeping him off balance, keeping him at a lower platform to where he can't establish this vertical base and make it easier for him to open up the collars and get in there to attack. Now, if we take that a little farther though and say he did get in and this is like deep here, then the thing I want to make sure that I do is like, I want to like make it to where the pressure is more like on my chest. So I'm trying to bring this elbow down here kind of to center line. And what that does is it exposes like his shoulder over this platform. That's going to make it easier for me to look for my escape at this point. So, at this point too, once I do that, if I want to start to escape, I can grab the material or I can grab the back of the elbow and want to trap here on the leg, and then, so I'm going to do my trap and roll here, my upa escape. If we go to do that here, this way, and we do wind up, and this was another problem that you said you had, right? So you did the trap and roll, and he's still deep inside the collar, so he's going to start attacking immediately, or maybe on the roll itself, right? So once we get here, yeah, I want to be able to try to monitor this right here and kind of like, block him from getting that second hand inside, and realize that most common is guys throwing it over the top, but he can go under or over, right? Yeah, so he can go under or he can go over like that. So I want to get here and keep this kind of pushed aside like that to make some space. And then, hopefully like I can start to sit back on. If we're very late though, let's talk about this. If we're very late, he throws the choke on, like whichever kind of choke here, yes, like this. Then some different ways that I can defend. And I don't know what you have for cross choke defense from here. Like what do you do at this point besides tap?
I was gonna say that's typically what.
Yeah, I mean the tap is pretty much assured to like make him let go, so that's not a bad strategy. But if you like to have like a different kind of strategy to get out of it, then something that works really well. First of all, is if he gets here, I'm gonna like hunker down tight like this, but not with the intention that this is gonna save me necessarily. But if I push down like this here, there's always a little bit of reaction from him whenever we get here to like extend up. So I'm gonna like kind of slingshot. I'm gonna pull down and then extend up. And when I do that, now I'm gonna look wedge inside here like this, and then get elbow deep and start to comb my hair back, right? And this is why it's very important to have the right product at all times in your hair, so that when you do this, it doesn't get out of place or disheveled, So I go here, I want to comb this hair back, and now what happens? He can't finish the choke from here, so a lot of times he'll let go with this one to reestablish, and then I can come here to go back to that block like that, right? And now, once I block here like this and I'm kind of monitoring, the next thing I want to do is I want to look to go underneath this arm, and then I'm going to make this hole. I'm going to wedge my elbow up, make a hole, and then get my head down underneath it like that. And see, then you mess up your hair. So this is why it's a last like Hail Mary kind of thing. Now, once you sit up now, and I want to get my posture, not allow him to start doing that, get my stable base to start escaping from, right? So you got something to...
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So another thing you can do.
Now Jared's going to give you the good stuff. So.
Oh, another option here is.
You want to switch?
Yeah, it's just safe from the guard. Actually, where I was thinking that was here. Okay, so another thing I can do is if we're using the gi, I can take my hand and knee choke.
Yep.
So I'll take my knuckles and I'll go all the way across and in. Now I'm gonna cup and come up on my leg and pull here and drive through his neck.
Yeah.
And right.
Yeah. And now, if you stay there sometime, I saw this recently in a high-level competition that somebody went out on this choke. Like, so it was black belts doing this, and the guy actually choked him from the guard with that knee choke. But here's a trick to where you can make it hard to defend, because when he does that knee choke, what I'll do is I'll go here, put both my hands on the knuckles, and then use my legs and hips and everything to pull that away, right? If he does this trick, though, where he pushes this and then covers it up with this hand here, that's dirty. Like, I can't get that out, and so I'm going to get choked that way, So that knee choke is powerful, man. It's very fast. It's right into the trachea too. So
you gotta leave it a little slack too, so you can get the knuckles across. If you go too deep, then you'll get right in the trachea. So
if you got a big old thick neck guy, then you're just pushing into muscle. It's not going to do much. So those are some things, and mostly what we're talking about on that are like late options, like Hail Mary kind of things, because the guy's already gotten so deep in the collar. But the biggest thing is just prevention. And one of the biggest things I see people miss on prevention to that is they start to get fixated. Like whenever the guy's on top and he starts to bug the collars, all their attention rises up there too. But the thing is, like, if you keep him unstable, like when he's on top of you, he's not going to have that platform to be able to do all that. He's going to have to worry about his base the whole time. So,
you can also look at if he's got one hand in, let's see on top. All right, yeah, so if he does get one hand in, that second hand in to make it in, he's only got two real routes, right? He can go over or he can go under. So just being aware of those two routes and not having to worry about all the space in between, but knowing that it's got to come this way or it's got to come this way. Yeah. And then you can pick it up and start defending that second hand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, So that's the thing, just, you know, prevention's better than cure, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. What else? Fix that. You're a master of the bottom mountain.
Stuff. I dig. I'll do my best to keep getting mounted like that. But I was also interested in, and it just seems like, I don't know, it's not very really talked about as much as often as Omoplata.
Yeah,
And I feel like I have an opportunity, like I get to it,
yeah,
but I lose them. I'm not able to finish the shoulder lock. They'll get their arm loose, so they'll roll.
yeah.
And it's even been told to me it's better as a sweep option instead of submission. And I feel like I should be able to finish it if I, get to that point.
That's a pretty subjective statement. And you know, like, yeah, probably for me, I would say that's probably true too. Because like I probably hit the sweep off of that easily as much as I hit the finish off of it. But it's a great position. Omoplata to me, and so if you guys couldn't hear on the feed, like the question was about omoplata, and it's about like the effectiveness of it, how to finish from there, sweep options from there, and whatever. To me, omoplata was this game-changing thing that it made me start to view submission placements as positions themselves. So omoplata was one of the biggest ones that did that for me. And when I viewed omoplata as a position rather than just a submission attempt, that shifted my perspective so much. And then I started looking at, okay, what about straight arm bar? What about Americana? What about arm triangle? These are just positions that are so solid that the person has to tap from. The person can't escape them, right? So that's ultimately what we're talking about. So yeah, omoplata does have great sweep opportunity from it, but I can show you a couple ways. Also, depending on how do you enter into typically omoplata, from closed guard or from open.
Yes, sir. Closed guard. Typically, the way I'll get it is pistol grip coming to their opposite hand, and then I'll hook underneath their leg, and basically kind of like shrimp out bridge, open my legs, and then over.
So I don't personally like pistol grips. I mean, most gis now you can't hardly get a pistol grip. My gauge for if you can get a pistol grip or not is it sticking out the top of your fist. If it's not, it's too shallow. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I would prefer a hook grip first of all. But one way that like if we get here, yeah, there's like a hook grip. So whatever you want to call it. So a good way to set up omoplata is off of this kind of like a triangle guard or pyramid type guard or whatever you want to call it, 1.5 stage from punch block series, whatever this is, and we get here like this. So what I'm looking to do is this foot is in his hip, this shin is in his bicep, and this heel and this knee are trying to connect over here. I'm keeping this arm here tucked, and I'm holding his wrist down here nice and tight. This position here is money. If this isn't a staple of your arsenal from the guard, like where you're searching for, I would, as much as I would say somebody should, then I think you should incorporate this into your arsenal.
Yeah.
It's very strong. I have triangle opportunity from it. If this is a self-defense thing or a fighting thing, then his head's wide open. I can throw shots and I can keep this arm monitored. He's very tied up and very compromised.
I have a very difficult time striking.
Yeah.
Here, so.
If he wants to try to turn and face me and posture back up, then I start to get like triangle opportunities. But if he wants, sometimes he'll realize that because he's arm in, arm out, and he won't take that. And so he'll be here, like kind of hugging on my leg, in fact. So I'll use this frame to start, not just to start omoplata, but I'll use it to free my bottom leg. So what can happen here is like if I start to bring this one around, I'd like to do it without the use of my hand if I can, or use this one, because as soon as I let go with this, he gets his arm free. But you know, you can use this arm. And what I'm gonna look to do, I'm gonna make this frame here. So the same way I make a frame with my forearm and my wrist, I'm gonna make a frame with my hand to my ankle here. And then I'm gonna use that to scrape my leg free. Now, this is the very important part. Once I get here, the figure four has to be very tight squeeze. So once I scrape that here, I'm thinking everything is like thigh master at this point, like squeezing and pinching his arm, and I want to get a tight like figure four here beside him, and this hand here is going to, right, let's turn this way just a little bit. They'll say cross grip to the wrist and use this to pull or whatever. I don't even think there's a possibility, I don't entertain the possibility of finishing this unless he's completely flat. That's not just shoulder on the floor, that's hip and shoulder, completely flat out. So I need to scrape and pull him down. So what I'm gonna do is same side wrist grip here. This one's gonna throw all the way across his back, and I'm gonna use like a rope on his gi to pull him down. Belt is not reliable because it may be untied or it may just slide around him. So I'm gonna try to get some material up here And now as I scoop, so I'm gonna plant and hip, shoulder out this way here before I ever think about sitting up. And then when I'm flat, now I can start to think about sitting up, you know what I mean? And once I go to sit up here, I'm gonna use like the rocking motion to sit up here, uncross the legs. You can use your leg here to uncross the leg. And then I'm gonna put the hands here on the mat, or this is traditional. This is more traditional, like hands here and then drive up and get the shoulder lock. What I think though, as soon as I get here though, and I uncross the legs, my thinking here, what I prefer, this is what I have learned that has been more effective for me, is shooting across to grab this arm here. So I want this like kind of double chicken wing action. Now from here, I don't have to finish this. I can finish this here, right?
Oh, dang.
Yeah, this is nasty. And if you see the highest percentage finishes at the highest level of competition tend to be attacking that arm in the Omoplata position. There's a match you can watch. It was Temi Musameki versus who was it? Michelle Nicolini. Michelle Nicolini and Temi Musameki. And Temi Musameki got caught in Omoplata, but Michelle Nicolini arm and just cranked like 90 degrees the wrong way, busted her arm all to pieces.
Oh my gosh.
And but she finished out the match with this arm just like dangling in the breeze, like another minute or so, because like she was only down by like an advantage. So she was like, she could still outpoint her and still win with this jacked up arm over here, you know?
Man.
So she never tapped. The referee won't stop it if your arm gets broken. That's up to you. Tough win. That's like those are impressive people to watch. I don't know that I would make that same decision, but like it was impressive to see that kind of grit. But yeah, that reach to that far side arm for that like kind of bent back chicken wing kind of thing. Because what I typically hit Omoplata more than anything from spider guard. Yeah, you want to mention?
Yeah, let me get a tip on the finish too for the Omoplata. So like he was, like Elo was talking about, getting his shoulder and his hip to the ground. So I want to move him this direction to pull him over his foundation, over his base. So as he's, if you think about as he's here, you see he's got a triangle of base 1, 2, 3, right? And so you're going to pull him over this wall of that of his foundation, and that will be the angle of pull that will have the least amount of energy with the most amount of output for you, right? So and then on the end there, once you've landed, and once you've got him already flattened out, boom, boom. Whenever I'm coming up, I see a lot of times someone trying to go sit up over the shoulder. But if you pull this down and in, and you take the knee to the ground, you're gonna have more leverage, and the get up will be much easier for you, right? So you keep the wrist. Thinking about, of course, there's a triangle here. 1, 2, 3. These two create pressure on the third, and so I'm maximizing that leverage right there, right? I'm talking about triangles.
Here go the triangles. Knew it was coming. All right.
Let's keep turning.
So, yeah. So that's a powerful finish. Like that, and what Jerry was talking about, like keeping that in mind whenever you're attacking positions, you know, and that's why like a good position to think about rather than just submission, because you think about what their structure is and how to diminish that structure, how to separate the points of that base, how to topple the structure of the base, and not allow them to build up a good platform to be able to like get more vertical and build a strong structure to be able to like be stable from, you know. So you're always trying to keep them like unstable. Let's see, what else about Omoplata? The sweep off of it, and I don't know what kind of sweep you're getting. I know a lot of times a person would just roll over that shoulder and you can kind of scramble and make it a sweep, but there's an extremely simple and powerful and high percentage sweep from there. That it is. I mean, whenever I started doing a sweep, I just kind of, it's one of those things that I liked it so much more than trying to finish the Omoplata, that I was just like, you know what, screw the submission. I'm just gonna get the sweep every time, get to top, because there's so many good options from the top too. If we get to this position, and let's say that we'll do this side here. and I get like this. Now, so what Jared will do a lot of times, because he doesn't want me to flatten him out, is he'll drive the weight into me, like he's gonna come over the top of me here, right? So what I'll do here is I'll take this arm inside and hook his leg here, like this. And I'll keep hold here, and then I'm just gonna straighten my legs and just log roll over my belly. Let's go back a little bit.
Yep.
Here. So I'll pull here and just roll this way, and then after I sit up here, then it's kind of hard to see this. Let's turn this way, all the way around, all the way around. When you sit up, look at how this arm gets trapped. So I'll push myself back to sitting, and then sit right on top of that bicep and shoulder right there. So, and then I want to make sure that over here, I cut the wedge so that he doesn't start turning to face me too quickly. So, you know, from here, you can do something as simple as a wrist lock if you're evil, or you can push the arm to the floor for this short arm kind of lock. Look, I'm gonna cup the elbow like this here, and then I'm gonna slide this knee out, drop my hip to the floor close to him, and my shoulder to the floor close to him too. And then, look,
Oh, dang.
yeah, so, can you sit up just a little bit? See how this configuration? I won't let him sit up like this, but I wanted you to see. So let's go back down. Because to finish this, I'm just gonna pick my knees up this direction here, and it puts a ton of torque on his shoulder. Just around. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So I'm going here, figure 4, and then put this one under his chin, like this. And then I'm gonna pick my bottom knee. Now his wrist is trapped under here. There's his elbow, wrist, shoulder. When I pick my knee up, it's a ton of pressure right there. So that's generally referred to as a monoplata. I'm not sure why. I don't know if mono for like, I don't know.
He monos a lot when you
No,
catch
monos.
it.
And there's different ones out of there. You can re-roll to omoplata from there. You can spin and go in straight armbar from there. So a lot of cool stuff. So we covered bottom mount, defending the neck, getting that grip out, defending the cross choke from guard, and then finishing potential from omoplata.
The knee choke from top.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
I
a
love
sweep.
that.
What else, man? What else ails you?
Well, let's see. I really just dig anything, you know, I love everything on the omoplata stuff you've been saying. I just think it's such a huge opportunity for people to use. I mean, I think from beginning jiu-jitsu to high levels of jiu-jitsu, and I just don't see it as often, like where I get to train and stuff. And like you mentioned, it seems like lots of times I won't hit a sweep. It really is like a scramble.
Yeah.
And it's me scrambling to get through their back.
Yeah.
You know, lots of times if they have the ability to get free, but I think you showed me some great stuff to be able to help prevent that, absolutely.
And I mean, a lot of it too is the entry, like, you know, how you're getting to a guard. Or spider guard is a great one if you're playing with the pajamas on, or rubber guard. Rubber guard is still one of the, in my opinion, one of the best ways to enter into a submission freeze that includes at some point the omoplata. And I mean, it's really good. So I think that, you know, exploring all these different types of guard, and I mean, God, there's so many of them. There's like K guard, there's Shan's guard, there's all these are really right around the corner to that omoplata attack, like right away. But yeah, so are there any other like big topics, or otherwise we could kind of check some of the comments that we've been getting and see if somebody has a.
Absolutely. I love that everybody else is involved, and I want to share too, so I'm interested to see what questions they might have or
Cool.
you know, comments.
Well, let's do that. Let's see what some people are saying here.
So if you guys got any questions, you know, hit us up with them.
Yeah, we're not going to turn this into a hair care tutorial. Sorry. We'll talk about it. We'll save that for a whole different video. Guys, lots of connections. Hope this is recorded. Yeah. Sorry about the earlier technical difficulties, guys. If anybody's watching right now, we've kind of fielded a lot of what Ryan has for you know, some of the content. But if you guys have some different questions and stuff too, we have somebody asking about. Sorry, I didn't see who the name was, but it was butterfly guard passing. Passing the butterfly guard can be a pain sometimes, because it's such, if somebody's playing a very aggressive butterfly guard, in my opinion on guards like that are, if you're going to play them, don't get there and hang out. Closed guards with strong connections are places where maybe you can take a little bit of a breather before you start to plan your attack. But in my opinion, like the more space and the less like physical connections, the more aggressive the guard tends to be. And that's why a lot of the sportier guards are like that, like De La Riva guard. You think about a lot of these like lapel guards and stuff. You got to like attack. So, having said that, though, if I want to look to pass, and Jared, you can jump in. My favorite pass from butterfly guard that I do more than anything is, I don't feel like it's super technical, but it just tweaked it to fit me better over the years. And so what we're doing, we're talking about butterfly guard here. If he's here, and so he's, I'd like to flatten him out. I don't want him to sit up because that's where he's going to be able to be more aggressive. So what I'm going to look to do here is I want to if I can pass to the side that he's already down on. Anytime that I'm looking to pass the guard, I think about the V shape of his legs. So if you look at Jared like playing open guard of any kind with me, he's got these kind of V of his legs. If I get one side down, then I can pass to that side somehow, you know. So that's why his priority should be not letting me get that leg flat to the ground, not letting me get his hips out of alignment like that. But that's a different story. So we always want to think about the offense and defense so we can reverse engineer and make each one better. If from here I want to look to pass, I want to do it early, and I want to try to get, if there's a gi involved, I want to get a deep connection on his neck. If there's not, I'm going to hold just a collar tie up. I'm going to hold the ankle with no gi. I want to hold the pant sleeve down low if there is, right? I like the low grip. You can also go by the knee or the low grip. The next thing I want to do is I want to make my head, I want to pierce my head into his chest, like high up on his chest as much as possible. And then I'm going to tripod out and I'm going to hop around. So let's scoot this way just a little bit so that we don't lose frame. So I want to go here and here this way, and then I'm going to drive my head in hard and get up on my tiptoes and walk this way here, just kind of straighten them out. And then once we get past this leg here, I want to like slide in and keep that leg up. And so he's not able to really pass or re-establish the guard very easily. So from this side here, we're looking at it. Oh, yeah, this. Then from here, I want to get my head inside deep, and I'm trying to like smash with my head. Anytime you're going to use your head, you want to like try to crack the chest plate, right? And then I want to get this pant down here this way, and then look, I'm going to cut to the side here this way, right? And just kind of push him over and down. So it's real kind of basics, but it can be very effective if timed properly.
Here's another pass that might be useful. If I can get, if I'm just dealing with the lower body, I can bring one hand in and right inside his leg. The hand posts and the other hand just goes on the knee. And
those work pretty well together because, come on now, let's reconnect. Oh,
here we go.
come on, reconnect. We guys, if you see it reconnected, then comment that it's reconnected, please. All right, so those two things can be used in pretty good conjunction with each other because one's like a little earlier, one's a little later, you know, because if the guy's like down, playing that kind of butterfly guard, then it would be reconnected. Thank you, Daryl. So
if you think if the guy's more like flat on his, or if he's further away.
Yeah, if this guy's playing like this though, like,
yeah,
yeah, you should just jump past his guard. You should just leapfrog his legs, honestly. But it's like this is when it gets dangerous, you know. Now I have somewhere I can attack from, you know. So it's like kind of, but what Jared was saying, like here, can show gets his head underneath mine, like he's gonna pass, you know. So
I gotta use this to undo the hook right there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was referring to passing butterfly guard. Let's see what else we got here. Connection issues. Yes. Easiest sweep from spider guard. Ooh, got that. Okay. Can we get one more person to comment that we're reconnected just to make sure I don't show this and it's just going into the void here?
See, Mark Bundren asked if, what's your favorite submission from Twist Your Arm Control?
Okay. Let's, okay, we'll take both of these here. All Portuguese.
Thank you.
Escape modified scarf hold. Okay, all right, so let's go first with the spider guard, because I've been kind of on this kick lately. I'll show you the simplest one. I learned this one, actually I just posted this one on Instagram recently, and yeah, cool. And like I use this more than anything, and I learned this from Hoist a long time ago, like this is probably 18 years ago, and this is the first spider guard sweep I ever learned, and I really don't think Hoist probably called it spider guard, maybe he did, but if we're here, and let's go like this direction if we can. How's this look? Okay. So when I'm playing spider, I want, again, like hook grips, but I want to concentrate on this meaty part inside the sleeve like this. And I want to get my feet in the biceps, and I want to connect here. Because if Jared can weave his arm underneath my other way, like here, then it's going to make it hard for me to hang on. So if I connect though here, like this, it's going to make it tough for him. And I want to keep kind of pumping here so he's off balance. Again, this is one of those things, like it's an aggressive guard, so I have to keep on like pump, pump, pump and keep him off balance. If I hang out here too long, it's pretty easy to pass. So we're gonna go like this here. And one of the easiest ones, and this is actually from like a lasso spider, so I'm gonna drop this one down, around, and inside. And the key to this is don't just like stop here and be lazy. I wanna touch my toes to his spine, and then pull this back nice and tight. And that's gonna, it feels like it's about to snap his bicep in half. And I keep this really strong here. What this kind of gives him a cue to do a lot of the times is like he feels like he wants to pass to this side over here. And if that's the, so as he comes around here, this way, yeah, then look, I want to pick up and push this way over. Right? This is, to me, one of the strongest spider guard sweeps. If in competition, if you're allowed to, you have a nice little bicep slicer that you can wind up with right here too. It's really nasty. Yeah. Or you can just finish the sweep and come up knee on belly or side control off of that. But yeah, that's one of the highest percentage that you'll see hit a lot of the time. So we're here kind of pumping like this, and then I want to lasso this way, touch the toes to the spine, pull this nice and tight here, and then I want to drop this as I grab the pant leg inside, and then look, I want to push straight up to the ceiling and make that sweep like that. So, and then come up, maybe finish bicep slicer or just go to side control. But that's a pretty high percentage line. I've used that for years and years. Audio issues, okay. Let's see.
You could unplug the mic, that might.
Okay, we'll try it like that. See if, sorry guys. You're welcome, sir. All right, twisting arm control.
So,
Position.
yeah, so twisting arm control, my favorite submissions, for me, it's usually just straight arm lock.
Don't get here, that's what.
Don't get here first. But then just loop around and going for the straight arm lock, which is one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
It's very basic, very simple, but I mean, it works, you know.
It's great for back takes too. I mean, that's an awesome position for back takes. It's like you get here, you know, and like maybe you don't feel confident with the arm bar, and then you're just sitting back a lot of the time and just pulling up and then going straight there to take the back. That's awesome. You know, yeah, I mean, there's no reason to like get super fancy with that. There's no reason to get like super elaborate with the gift wrap position like that or the twisting arm control, because there's just, I mean, once you have that connection established like that, man, it's all day. I mean, you should get the back or you should take the arm bar from there. So yeah. What else was it? I don't remember. Let's see. What other questions did you guys have? We'll do this a few more minutes. Escaping modified scarf hold. Ugh, gross. Yeah. Oh, actually, my friend Drew. I was just in. I went to teach a seminar for the RCMPs, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and while I was there, it was in Central Alberta, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The guy that runs Because Jitsu on Instagram, his name's Drew Weatherhead. If you don't know his actual name, but he's got the funniest like BJJ names, and super cool. I went to his school to teach a seminar, but we went and we were rolling and everything before and after, and he hit me with something that I hit people with a lot, but he did it better, which is a little frustrating. But like he had this one little detail, you know. Sometimes that's what it is. I'll have something I do for like decades, and someone will show me one little tweak on it, and I'm like, oh, damn, I should have been doing it the whole time. You know? This was it. This was the thing. So let's go. Broken scarf. So like let's see. Yeah, let's go over here. So like the Shirokase Katami. It's like this is so not standard. This is standard case of Katami. We're gonna go broken.
Right.
Yeah, like this. Unless you meant, if you meant reverse scarf, then we can do that too. But let's look at this one. At first, I don't want him to be able to capture my arm like this. But if it is, it's not the end of the world. So the big thing is I want to try to stay on my side a little bit if I can. I want this hand here, I can frame with it a little bit, just don't overexpose it. honestly, what you need to do is not just reach here and grab. You need to hit with this one. I need to own this and try to get that arm out. Because like what that's going to do here is, bang, once I get that free, it's going to do two things. It's going to make sure that I jerk it out, and it's also going to jam my elbow to the floor. And this one's going to keep on pushing this direction here. So lean into me just a little bit. I'm going to keep pushing this direction here. But at the same time, I'm not just going here trying to push over. I'm also going to connect my elbow and my knee behind them, underneath like that. And now once that's connected here, I want to think about my knee starting to point up as I'm pushing here. And the leverage that creates, that little spacer of that knee creates, is huge. And I may have just screwed a couple details of that up, but that's the essence of it. And I've been hitting that since he showed me that detail. So Drew, if that screwed it up, I'm sorry, and you can correct me later. But that fixed a lot for me. Was going here, trying to get this free and blocking into the. Be careful not to overcommit the arm here this way, right? Yeah, like that. But I'm gonna push right into that wedge. I'm gonna jam this elbow to the floor, and I want to get on my side enough to where I can bring my knee and my elbow together here underneath the guy. And I'm gonna push, wedge my knee up, and be able to turn over like that. So a simple little escape, but man, super effective. Yeah. Hopefully that answered the question a little bit. The broken one, yes. Yeah, okay, so we talked about the broken scuffle. Can the back take me to rear naked choke? It better. Mark, come on now. Can it lead to the rear naked? Is that the rear naked choke, if we're in the gi, should be like down the line, you know, because like it's kind of like if you have they have a gi on, it's kind of like taking a pistol and beating the person with a pistol. Like you just shoot them, you know. It's you have a weapon here. You have this perfectly good weapon. So if I get somebody's back, right, and you know, we'll talk just kind of generic back take here, back control. Look, there's so many great. There's a sliding collar, there's a single wing, there's Ezekiel chokes, there's arm in Ezekiel chokes, there's all kinds of great stuff. There's bow and arrow, which is the back submissions, you know. But yeah, I mean, if that's not working, then yeah, like climbing up and getting that rear naked choke, whether it's a short choke or whether it's the full expression of it, you know, it's all good, it's all great stuff. But yeah, man, I think you should kind of have that as the destination whenever you get to the back, in my opinion. What do you think? I'm not sure. You might know his question a little better.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, once you get the back, one of the biggest things about being able to get the rear naked choke from the back is your positioning on the guy's back. You know, and making sure that you're positioned so that you can sink the choke. So many times the reason people can't get the choke is they're just not in the perfect position. And so you got to be able to adjust yourself up and down and think about how he is.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, so if I'm here on my knees, they move together. So I don't want to be pushing and pulling like this because it doesn't move me in relation to his back, right? So I keep my elbows and my knees together, and I can wiggle up, or I can take both of my elbows up and wiggle down on his back. And that'll help me find the level I need to be able to access the choke. So that's two directions, up and down. We've also got like this rotation, because if he gets the top shoulder to the mat, right, then I don't have anything here. And same if he gets the top shoulder wet, I don't have anything here. So I want to be in the Goldilocks zone where the cords is just right. So we got the grip. Now I'm going to use the hand to roll his shoulder forward, and that'll help me dive deeper with this hand. I come through and make a grip. See? So I use this to adjust and roll him forward and back so I can find the right place. So I can get right up and down. Got to get right forward and back, right? And then you'll be able to hit the choke. But if you don't have the position down right, it's gonna be hard.
Something else about that position, like I prefer whenever I get the back, if I can go to the underhook side versus the overhook side, I like it a lot better. Like I like to go
because I'm falling into the choke.
Yeah, I like to go this side instead. You know, because I can always, if I want to, I can always free this to get this out. But I also have a lot of other good attack options.
Oh, you're saying the underhook side?
Yeah, the underhook side. Yeah, because like this makes it harder for him to get his shoulders to the floor to escape the choke.
Because he's containing his bottom shoulder.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So this is what I kind of prefer, and even more than this, if I'm going to fall to this side, what I try to do is get a little perpendicular. All right. Okay.
So that last point, I was up, and it frees the weight off his legs, so we can bite higher to get that perpendicular angle, right?
And you get here, and then you start to like take away his ability to defend. All kinds of cool stuff. You know, so it's the guy should just be 100%. You want him to. You want to feel him be 100% on defense.
One other thing you do with the rear naked, just from this is just from your seatbelt grip here is if I hold if I hold the bottom hand on the top hand right here, it's just a little bit, yeah, bottom hand on the top hand, and start kind of hiding the knot right here under his chin, then for him to address it, he has to address his top hand. So now as he addresses it, I can let that go and shoot the hand to his right to help sink it.
Oh, we're showing too many tricks.
Yeah,
It's
it's
too many.
a lot of tricks right there.
All right, one more trick. Watch this. This is like my new favorite thing because it's like not 100% douchey, but it's like 85%. So like, if we get
So
here,
that's okay.
yeah. So if Jared wants to come up and grab my hands and kind of hand fight with me here like this, right? So like say we're here something like this. So then let's if we get in like this kind of position, look, he's like fighting this hand over here. Like no, it's here. He grabs this one. Yeah. If he grabs like cross side to defend this as I'm coming in, which he'll do a lot of the time because it's like this is the idea. I'm going here and he blocks like that. So if that's the case, look, I'll come up in between and then I'm gonna grab my hands gable grip. Yeah, and it's a little wrist lock here, right? So
I didn't know that one. That's good.
yeah. Wrist locks are the devil, right? Here we go here, and so look, I gable grip here like this. And and so like. You know, you might get it, but if nothing else, he's going to try to rip that hand away.
Yeah.
You know? And so then you're right there. You know? So that's a nasty little wrist lock that I don't remember. Like I think that Alan Kaplan showed it to me. Like he saw a video, showed it to me, and then we played around with it. And then I started hitting on white belts. And
That hurt my wrist and my feelings.
yes, that's what they do. They're evil. All right, so I've been missing a couple things here. Strong side, weak side. Cool. Your favorite neck protection when someone is taking your back. Right hand, right side, left side, opposites. Yeah.
I usually try to keep defending. If it attacks on this side of my spine, I try to defend with that side of my body if possible. When I start crossing sides, that's when I start getting trapped up.
Yeah. Yeah, we can address that. Before that, when somebody's asking about how do you feel about submission before position, and that's it's an interesting question. That's like a whole topic of discussion, you know, because like the mantra in Jiu-Jitsu is position before submission. That's kind of the mantra. Okay, there's not a better word, but the idea is you want to get your position stable and strong, so you have the leverage and you have more access to timing, and you can control things a little better before you start to attack, so you're not going to compromise your position. But there do exist exceptions to that rule, and one way exceptions happen is because if I understand Jared's position better than he understands it, then I can kind of like bully him back from that position. Like I can dismantle the effectiveness of his position. So that's why. Sorry, the example somebody gave was like Ezekiel choke from inside someone's guard. That's a great example. If he doesn't know how to use his guard more effectively to defend it, and I do, I can sometimes like create opportunities like that. What were you gonna say about?
Just that you can also use the attention, right? Almost like in magic, you get your attention here and then do something over here. So sometimes it's the shifting of attention that allows you to go and hit the submission directly without a whole lot of setup positionally, you know, because you've gotten their attention somewhere else and they're not even thinking about this submission over there, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And like if you follow and you see where their attention is naturally inclined to go, and then you kind of accentuate that, you know, like you see that they're really committed to this one kind of area, so it's like, okay,
So you threaten that area a little bit.
Exactly, yeah, you keep them committed. Whenever you elicit the commitment from the person, then you're already kind of playing a couple steps ahead. You know, the more committed the person is to a certain line of action, the easier they're going to be to manipulate in other directions. Because you know, that you think, I always use the example of like a punch. It's like a punch is very strong one direction. Like this particular punch is very strong. This direct, very strong here or here or here. You know what I mean? So you can kind of redirect that energy a little bit better and manipulate it the more linear and pinpoint focused it is. So you know,
you can think about it this way too. Whenever you choose a submission or you pick a goal, any goal for that matter, to achieve that goal, you have to organize your resources around achieving that goal. So in a certain submission, you have to organize your body in a certain way that's going to allow you to achieve getting it into that submission. Mm-hmm. And so if you're aware of what that submission is, there's only a finite number of ways that they can organize their body to converge upon that submission. And if you're aware of that, then you can see it. You can see it coming further away, right? If you're aware of how they have to organize their body and align themselves to hit that submission, and so you can use that. You can use that to your advantage, to read what is they're about to do to you, or to see whenever they're out of alignment, allowing you to hit a submission that otherwise you may have to set up positionally in a more solid way.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for concrete examples, there's a lot of good ones. Like Ezekiel from inside the guard, it's that's like a lower percentage. It happens a lot. It happens plenty. But we talked about one while ago about the knee choke, and the knee choke happens, sometimes when you're inside somebody's guard and you can finish that knee choke. Baseball bat choke is a classic one because it's so difficult sometimes to unwind from it once you're kind of caught in the beginning stages of it. So you see a lot of people go to sleep on that baseball bat choke because they're passing the guard and they're like, oh, I'm all clear. I'm completely past this guard. But what they're actually doing is they're taking that parallel choke, and as they're passing, they're crossing it up, and that's the effectiveness of the baseball bat choke. That's why people go to sleep a lot of the time, because they're like, well, as soon as I get past this to my superior position. And this is a story I've shared before. This is the most embarrassing moment for me in Jiu-Jitsu history, probably in my life. But
This is about Bob.
this is this is about Eli. No, Bob choked me out like that too one time. But this was in front of Hoist, Elio Gracie.
Oh, I know Gracie.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my most embarrassing one. I wasn't even a blue belt yet. I actually got my blue belt that weekend.
It was in Pennsylvania.
It was in Pennsylvania
at
this camp, and I hook up with this guy, and we start on our knees, and we basically would start with this here, and this guy he's kind of intense, and like I'm just kind of like, hey, we're just gonna light roll and everything, and so like we slap hands, and then he's like, you ready? And like we just shook hands, yeah, and he's like, bam, and like slams his hands inside my collars like this. So like he slams the hands in, bang, like this, and I'm almost knocked out from the impact of it. But I'm like, oh God, I'm like, so I go back, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I got my superior position now, so he's got to let go because he can't choke me from inside my guard, and like, and so then, like, I wake up, and Hoist's wife is holding my feet like up here like this, yeah. So this is Hoist's wife. Jorge and Gracie is standing right beside me, like 10 feet away, and I'm like, this is hell. Like this, and like I woke up. This is what hell is right here. Like this, the sheer embarrassment of it. So, yeah. So the whole
Jorge's like, explain to Elliot what's going on.
Yeah.
He didn't speak English.
Yeah. So it was not my finest moment. But it was a good learning lesson because it's like, don't overstate the just because a position is theoretically dominant and theoretically can be superior, you got to know how to use that. You got to know how to make it superior. You got to make it effective, right? So, anyway, let's hit like one more technique question. Those are very nice kimonos. Well, yes, they are, Mr. Ricardo. I wonder where they came from. DeFirma, is that? Yeah. DeFirma Kimono Company.
Boom.
Yeah, DFKC. So, and then also to reiterate, like this is a north-south. He like actually had this idea, and that's why this is even happening right now. So kudos to them too, as well as the Firma Kimono Company. Favorite advance to a submission from twisting. Oh, that was back here. Let's see. All right, we're gonna do one more technique. Let's get one here. Favorite neck protection, back escape from the body triangle. Ooh. Oh, all right, Jerry, go ahead.
Right. If you can get it on me, I've been eating too much. Okay, so, all right, so if he's able to get the body triangle locked up, first off, you're only going to run this with guys with long legs, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so if he's able to get this, one of the first things I'm going to do is drop on that side. So,
Drop on the side of the connection.
Drop on this side, right. So, where the knot is. Let's get that just a little bit. Okay. So I like to put my elbow on top to keep it low, and then I'll take my foot and step over, right? I want to step over and get right past the toes.
That's
Now,
so comfortable.
this goes on top. Now,
Okay, hold on, I got it.
sorry. I'm gonna keep connection right here, and then I'm gonna roll the bottom side of my hip up and through the ankle. Boom, right here, catch, and then just roll up and through, and it's an ankle lock. So
I wouldn't
break the
tap to
foot
that.
off. Yeah.
Demo, I'll tap to it. I'm gonna tap to it.
Yeah. All right. So that's one option. You could also do it on the other side. It's a lot more difficult on the other side, especially depending on the length of the guy's legs. But and you'll have to adjust. You want to adjust it where you're getting this leg as much on the toes as possible, and then rolling that hip right through the Achilles. Makes it pretty rough.
That's pretty nasty. That one's even worse than like just their standard crossed ankles in front and throwing it over, because
And it's really hard to get out of too if you fall on that side.
There was a fight not long ago. I've seen it a couple times in MMA now, where the guy this was an MMA fight not long ago. Like the guy got to someone's back like this here, and he like crossed his ankles, and this guy here, no, it wasn't even from here. This guy like he's hitting boom boom like this here. He's covering. He goes belly down right here. He goes belly down and on the crossed ankles. Yeah, and then he drives his hips into the floor, and he's hitting a couple times. He's like, and he taps from here, like he's in a dominant position. And this guy here, he taps, you know. And so the guy on bottom, like, is getting smashed, and then he wins. So it's like, yeah,
Belly down ankle locks. Go for it.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right, so
That's
all right.
Jake Burns.
Yeah. Please don't. We gotta put a disclaimer on this
Yeah.
one. All right, so once again, so thank you to Ryan Capps. He's we gotta cut this off, guys. We're pushing like an hour now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you, Ryan, for
We got other projects.
for just being awesome.
So.
Yeah, we got a lot
Hey,
of
you
work to
guys
do.
are awesome. Thank you so much. It was all the tips and everything. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you, Eli. I appreciate you, Jared. You guys are great.
Hey,
Yeah,
well,
man.
appreciate you guys.
We'll be in touch too, and we look forward to training like actually live in person sometime soon. And
Yes, sir.
we got let's see, for people that are still watching, you got any shameless plugs?
IQJitsu.com. We're on Facebook.
That's where we are right now. This place
Yes,
is awesome.
is IQ's is my academy. So the website and the Facebook, pretty much how you follow me. And of course, thank you YouTube followers of Eli, and thank you Facebook followers of us. So
Yeah. So yeah, keep watching my videos, please, guys, on YouTube, Night Jiu-Jitsu on YouTube, and then yeah, I'm on Facebook too somewhere, like just as Eli Knight, and then I've got my Instagram, Night Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram, all that stuff. I've got a couple of seminars coming up, just real quick. If you're interested and you're in the area, I'm going to let's see, Virginia. I have like 3 different dates in Virginia. I'm going to be in Hampton, Chesapeake, and Alexandria, back to back, and that's in May. I've got something else. I'll try to keep everything updated. I'm going back to North Carolina. Can't really talk about it. It's top secret. But yeah, guys. Anyway, thank you again to North South Jiu-Jitsu. Check out northsouthjiu-jitsu.com for awesome kind of apparel and stuff. The Firma Kimono Company for our amazing geese
Yes,
here. Check
Ricardo.
them out. Yep. And man, I guess that's it. Like,